Y'all watch out for raising them mama's boys. Okay, let them out every now and then. Give them something more than milk. Peeps, it is Courtney. How is it going? How is the fall? Are you easing into September, on your way to winter? We're not talking about that yet, okay? Hopefully you're getting your pumpkin spice. I know everybody just goes ape for that, okay? I'm not into it, but that's okay. So we're into September. It is over, halfway over, and I have completed a feat for me, okay? It's Shorty September, where you read short books, right? So I have a folder right here on my Kindle collection titled Shorties, where I put books all year long specifically for Shorty September. And it's 14 books, and I have actually completed all 14 books. Probably could add some more into this list, but this is what I got, and this is what I'm going with thus far, okay? So let's talk about the 14 books. Now, I've already spoken about Erie Basin in my last video, but basically, Erie Basin is just creepy vibes all the way around. You have this like magical evil idol that basically allows people to, you know, get rich and to get success, but it comes at a cost of a little bit of blood, okay? Very fun, you know, gives me like LAPD vibes, 1990s, Brooklyn, all that jazz, gentrification, you know, that type of stuff, right? Hell of a Bargain is about this witch with this coven. They're going to do some sort of magical spell on Halloween, and this royal demon devil guy basically wants in on this spell so he can use it to gain favor, and they get it on a lot, okay? He comes off a bit as a wimp, but you know, it's a good story. You got a lot of spice to it, okay? And then we have A Trick of the Treat. Now this is a fun book, okay? It is called a vampire romance, okay? So basically, Trick to Treat, you have this woman who is invited to her kind of creepy, mysterious boss's house and for a party, and she gets there and she's the only one, and you know, she finds that him and his friends basically think that, you know, she has some ability to be a vampire, and they gotta bring it out in her in some very creative ways, okay? The book was hot. It was spicy. There was a lot of backdoor stuff. Let's just leave it at that. But if you want a good, fun, non-serious time, book is where it's at, okay? It's a romance, so love ensues. How that happens, I have no idea. Then you have Bad Date. You have this woman whose son basically does not like her dating, and bad things happen to dates that come to her house. We'll just leave it at that, okay? Y'all watch out for raising them mama's boys. Okay, let them out every now and then. Give them something more than milk. And then we have Stay With Me. This is part of a series, the Hotel D series. So basically you have Aisha, who really needs to de-stress. She is a businesswoman, taking care of things, doing whatever, right? So her friends get her this gift certificate or what up to go to this conference where she meets Theo, who, you know, relaxes her. They have a good time, and then she ghosts him. She's running away from love. But you know what? They meet up later, and you know what? They got to figure it out. It's a romance. I thought it was very, very heartfelt. I really didn't expect that, especially with the Hotel D series. But I think that Theo was very in touch with his emotional side, and I really did like that. We all need a little Theo in our lives to just kind of put those emotions out there, okay? Wear their heart on their sleeve. It's appreciated. I like a little honesty. And then I have Unholy Desires. Unholy Desires reminded me of Sierra Simone's Priest series with Priest, Sinner, and Saint, okay? Just some uncalled for stuff. Unlike those books, which to me were like really well done, very emotional. Of course, they were a longer length. This book was short and got straight to some crazy points that I think were very highly disrespectful, okay? I will say it sounded to me like it was written by a guy versus the female that actually wrote the book, okay? But if you're looking for some spicy, this book definitely has it. But it is a romance, so, you know, in the end they get together. But I did like a lot of the realistic statements that Father Manuel made about like sexuality being natural and biological needs and stuff like that. But he did a lot of stuff like real quickly, okay? It's like, bro, are you even trying? Okay. Anyway, 12 Dates Later was another crazy book. You had this woman who basically just, she was messing around with her friend's man, right? And so she goes to hell. So in hell, the devil gives her 12 dates to make it right. And she just doesn't seem like she's trying either, okay? Because she definitely needs every 12 of those dates to get it right, okay? But it's a romance, you know. I personally was not rooting for her. I think she deserved to go to hell, but that's just my opinion. Too many chances. Don't be giving people that many chances, okay? But it was a fun time and I did enjoy it. It was like Groundhog Day of like bad, selfish decisions. And then you have Marrying the Protective Professor, okay? Now this book I think kind of had a misleading title to me, okay? For one, the guy is not her professor, okay? But anyway, you have this girl who, you know, her ex-boyfriend is kind of stalking her, so the professor who was stalking her anyway, you know, he takes care of the situation. And he's like, hey, you know what, in order for me to protect you better, you need to move into my home and let's get married, okay? One of those fake dating things. But of course he already wants her and has been stalking her for a little bit, you know. She's like, I don't know, 20 years younger than him or whatnot. But it was a fun story. It was cute, it was sexy, and he definitely seemed like he was trying to fight the attraction. Although, bro, you know, you get a knee deep in there a little bit and then you decide to back off and be like, oh no, I have emotional baggage and I'm older than you, we can't go there. You already went there, okay? Just, I don't know, that just pissed me off. I was like, dude, don't be leaving folks hanging, okay? You gonna do it or you're not, okay? What are we doing? What are we doing? So other than that, he pissed me off. But it was a good kind of cheesy novel. I really liked it. Really great palate cleanser. And then you have Green Box. Now Green Box reminds me of some movies I have seen, okay? Basically, you go to like a little curio shop and you find a little trinket box that winds up being evil, okay? You use the box and then you try to figure out the origins when bad things start happening. Makes no sense whatsoever. The premise of several movies. As I was reading this book, I almost felt like I'd already read it before, even though I haven't, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Just gotta watch out for those goblins. You see a little goblin hobbling around, you know, don't talk to him. And then you have His Dogged Devotion. Now this is one of those like stalker obsessed mafia romance type things, okay? So you have this guy and this girl that are walking in the park or whatnot. He has a dog named Clyde, her dog is named Bonnie. He helps her out and then he decides to kidnap her and bring her to his mafia family house, you know, and swears that she's gonna fall in love with him in like 2 days. So it's really fun. I thought that the book was trying very, very hard to like play up this whole mafia thing. To me, I just wasn't buying it, you know, but it was hot and it was kind of sexy. I just think that it moved too quickly. And to me, I kept thinking, I would like to know more about the dogs, but that's just me. And then we have Nora and Bilal Do Christmas. This is another cute little romance. You know, you have this girl who is afraid of commitment and is like pining away for her high school friend. Nothing ever happened, you know, but everybody, you know, doesn't compare to him. And so she goes back to her high school reunion and they meet up and, you know, they had this little pact, right? If we're not married in 10 years, we're going to marry each other. Well, he apparently took that serious and she didn't, so he's all on board initially and kind of has to wear her down. And then there's some drama that ensues because apparently she's been dating somebody else already, okay? And she didn't say that, but it was pretty steamy, okay? There was some lines in the book that, you know, this guy is bold. I will say that he has some boldness in some of the things he says, okay? I was like, while I was highlighting on my Kindle, okay? Check out the highlights. You have The Vampire's Desire. Now this is a vampire romance erotica. I finished it because it was short. I mean, it's a short book, so but basically you have this world in which humans are basically blood donors for vampires that rule, right? And so they don't really take care of the humans that much and don't really think too much of them. But you have this one girl, her name is Maya, where her vampire is of the royal family and he actually likes her. They get it on a lot while he feeds her really well and takes her blood, right? He wants to make sure that his family is aware of her and all this stuff, even though they don't like her. And she helps out the royal family, but everybody's skeptical. But she is trying to kind of help out humans in the process. It's an interesting story. I just think it was an excuse to have people get it on. And I just kept thinking, okay, he's cold, right? So if he is so cold, how come when you're doing some other stuff that is enjoyable? Okay, you need a temperature check. But anyway, you know, if you just want the do stuff, there you go. Okay, there you go. Then you have Hunted. Oof, Hunted. Hunted was nice. Okay, you had Mel on this one. Okay, so and this is like kind of mobster stuff too. So you have this mobster younger guy that basically is all in love with his best friend's dad, and so he blackmails the dad, who's a mobster turned mayor. He turned legit, y'all. And he's like, hey, look, I got this stuff on you, so how about you and I go to your fancy cabin in the woods and we play a little hunting game, okay? Otherwise, these tapes I have of you are gonna go to the press, okay? Home dude really don't have much of a choice, and you know, they thoroughly enjoy the situation that happens, okay? I will say though that there wasn't a lot of hunting in this book, and I felt that it was lacking in that. However, the heartfelt emotion that came from these thugs, I thought was really right on point in how it was expressed. It wasn't over the top, and it was very heartfelt, and it was sweet. So I thought it was really, really cute. And apparently there's a sequel when I guess they go hunting in Christmas time, but this was enough for me. I did enjoy it though. I just wish there was a little more hunting that was happening, okay? I wanted some danger component, okay? Now there was some danger that did happen, I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't for the premise of what I expected it to be. But definitely worth reading too. And then you have Rise of the Riverman, which is a book I've been wanting to read for quite some time. And this one was good too. It has like bioengineering type stuff in a dystopian environment. Basically you have this guy who is basically a captive that is basically forced to fight, and he is bought by a scientist who does these, you know, experiments on him, and he is transforming into something different, okay, some other sort of animal. And when the guy escapes, you know, he finds love. So you have the idea of, you know, finding love in such a horrible environment, and you know, where does that kind of leave you type thing. And then he gets captured again, but very, just really good. It was heartfelt, kind of gruesome at sometimes, but very heartfelt and very interesting. And it's part of the series too, but I enjoyed it. It was just kind of sad at some point. And that is it. I have completed one folder. That's a lot in this age of not being able to complete a whole lot of things. I'm happy about that, okay? Have you ever been able to clear an entire collection folder on your Kindle? I'd be curious to know. What was it titled to? Anyway, let me get out of here. I'm pretty sure I can go find some other books. If I find something else that suits my fancy before I post this video, I'm gonna add to it, okay? Y'all like, subscribe, and comment, and have a good September. How's that pumpkin spice latte? Bye, y'all.